Grigory Savine had spent the last 5 days in the hospital following yet another rough landing. Flying, he felt like was easy and natural. Even taking off was no problem. But his low training hours began to really show through when he was coming in for landings. While in recovery, his squadron comrades occasionally dropped in to say hello and check in on him, and to give him a hard time. They were testing out several new nicknames for him. Grounded, because he's always on the ground after getting hurt. Stripes, because he had so many wound stripe or wards already, mostly from rough landings. And then Wheels. And Wheels is what really stuck. Every plane had lacked wheels after he was done flying them. The name of Wheels began to stick, and people around the base, even the nurses he was trying to impress, began calling him such. Finally, on April 26th, 1943, he was cleared to fly again. He was to take off at 8:20 a.m. and escort a flight of transports. This was the mission briefing. Today we have been given a critical task and a chance to fulfill our sacred duty to our brothers in arms. We have been given the opportunity to help save the lives of our seriously wounded infantrymen and tankers, whom we owe so much for their courage and perseverance in combat. They have been stabilized at medical posts and dressing stations, and then moved to a forward airfield to be evacuated from the combat area and get the specialist hospital treatment they urgently require. As the escort for the evacuation flight, the lives of the wounded will be in your hands. Our task is to avoid engagement and to reach the forward airfield without any delay. The wounded and medical support teams are already being loaded onto the transports, and they will be waiting on the runway ready to take off as soon as our escort group arrives overhead. Cover the takeoff of the transport aircraft and then escort them throughout the entire flight from the forward airfield to their destination airfield, where the wounded will be unloaded and transferred to hospital. Okay, we are here in the P-39L once again, and we're going to take a look at our additional options for our weapons. I've got additional 30 caliber machine gun ammo. That takes us from 1200 ammo up to 4000. Unfortunately, that does not give us more 37mm cannon or 50 caliber cannon machine gun ammo, but it does give us some additional 30 cal, so that's something. I don't know what this 37mm armor piercing. Oh, interesting. So we could go from incendiary to, or HE to armor piercing ammo if we know we're going to be attacking armor, which is really cool. 37mm is pretty considerable if you're attacking a tank from the top. But we're not attacking ground units this time. We are escorting transports, so I guess we will leave it out. And we do have the upgraded engine as well, with the additional stats that we get from that, up to 30 minutes. We are here with Grigory Wheels Savine. We are flying escort for some transports that will be carrying wounded soldiers from the front lines back to a rear airbase for treatment. We're going to be flying a pretty long flight. Well, the flight initially to pick up the transports is relatively short, but then we have a long flight back to the back line. So should be a pretty good flight. I hope that we can keep them safe. I'm going to try my best to not get distracted by any enemy fighters and stay with the transports the best that I can. At the same time, I do want to get up to an A status if possible with Grigory. But we are back in the P-39 once again with some additional 30 caliber machine gun ammo in case we need to throw some pea shooters at the enemy. But we are in plane number 39 today. Hopefully we can do it a little more justice than we did our previous plane and do away with our nickname Wheels. Now that name's here to stay, I'm sure, but at least maybe we can prove them wrong and show them that we can indeed land a plane when needed. And so let's get going, and I'll jump back in whenever we get into some action. Alright, we are flying over Slavenskaya right now, and we are turning for our approach to pick up our transports in 2 minutes. We are currently about 10,000 feet in the air, so we got a nice viewpoint for watching out for enemy planes, and we've shifted from a left echelon to a right echelon, which... why? Who knows? Okay, so anyway, we are coming up on our point of interest now. Let's take a look and see if we can see the transports taking off. There are 3 Lisanov cargo aircraft waiting to take off on the airfield, waiting of course for our approach, and we will be there very, very soon. Alright, there's the city down there, and so the airfield should be within that city somewhere, right on the other side, so can't really see it. Alright, so the Swan flight is taking off. That's our transport flight, and I see something already. Okay, well, let's go check it out while our friends take off. Get up to 37.2. Manifold pressure, please. Where's the little dots? There they are. Dots are incoming. Okay, Swan flight is airborne. Alright, so I guess we need to stick with our flight there. Where'd our boys go? Yeah, they are. Okay, so Swan flight is now airborne. We do have another plane in the air. Can't tell if they're heading our way or not, but they're very far away at the moment. To the like west. Oh, probably enemies. But if I fly to engage now, I'll never find these guys again. So I'll stick with our flight like I'm supposed to. And see if we can protect these. Okay. He's just shot a flare out. Show what? That we're ready. That we're on deck. Swan flight is low and slow. Really slow. Really, really slow. So slow that we're having to like do a circular pattern here. Keep them in sight. At this altitude, obviously we can intercept stuff, but how the heck, if something comes in low, there's no way I'm gonna see it. I can tell you that right now. That's our boys, right? There they are down there. Okay. Yeah, it's probably best that I'm a little lower. I can see a little bit. Now, for some reason, the lead flight of the Lisanovs is like far outpacing the other two, and he keeps having to like stop and turn around and wait for him. I'm not sure what the deal is. I guess maybe he got a head start and the other two just can't catch up. Lisanov is not as capable as the C-47, which it is built on the C-47 plans, but it is the Soviet constructed version of the C-47, and it has Soviet engines, and it has defensive armament, which the C-47 did not. But kind of interesting. Whenever you fly the C-47 versus the Lisanov, you can tell a huge difference in the performance between the two. But anyway, we're still just we're just chilling. We're just waiting, just chilling. I think should be around this area here, so about halfway through our return flight back to the landing area. Still no sign of any enemies, which is good on one hand, because we don't want our wounded troops to come under attack, but on the other hand, I wouldn't mind seeing a little action. But we'll just hang in there and take it as it comes. Extremely successful mission. Well, nothing happened, so that's good, I guess. In the guise that we don't want to have our boys endangered, but in the sense that we didn't really get to do anything except have them fly circles around those Lisanovs. A little bit boring, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and head on back to our airfield now. It'll be a 11-minute flight from where we're currently at. And so I'm going to mark the time on my clock down here. 11 minutes from now will be right at 9 o'clock. So we are going, or excuse me, 22, 23, somewhere around in there. So we're going to go ahead and start heading back, and we're going to go ahead and make our landing. And then I guess hopefully Wheels will do a good job. We'll find out, won't we? Alright, we are coming up with our flight to our... Oh, is that enemies up ahead? No. I don't know who those guys are. They're not calling out any enemies though, so... Valerie says to break off and land independently, so I reckon I will. I want to be first. I can wait on these guys. I'm going to go ahead and slow down. Who are you guys? Some other flight. Okay. Alright. Let's see where are we supposed to be taking. We're supposed to come in by the lake. Okay. There's the airfield. So we'll come in and land here. We start slowing down quite a bit. Let's see, 2,600, 15 inches of mercury. All right, about 15 inches now. Okay. Let's flap down. Slow down to about 110. 100 is where we want to be at when we land, so I did look up the conversion between kilometers and miles this time. 99.6 is the recommended landing speed, so we'll come in at about 100. We're about 150 right now, but we don't have full flap just yet, so we're going to deploy full flap. And fully open the radiators. There we go. And make my turn. And then as soon as we make this turn, we will Lower the landing gear. Yeah. Looking good. Sticking at about 100. I'm going to have to increase speed just a little bit because we did lower the landing gear. That's going to slow us down a little. This thing does not handle well at low speed, I'll tell you that. Alright. Coming in about 105, so... But it is really hard to control, honestly. So I think I'm going to keep her where she's at. I'm going slower than that. And continue to drop. Okay. I want to clear these bunkers if possible. Let's turn to the right just a little. Okay. Let's just come on down. Slow down a little. There we go. There we go. Much better. Much, much better. There we go. And we are down. And I forgot to turn on my camera. Of course you did. Clear the runway, buddy. Alright. Completed secondary objectives, all alive, cover, landing, and takeoff. Okay. Yep, so long, uneventful flight. Okay. That is going to be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was a little bit short because nothing really happened, but sometimes that's the way it is. That's it for this episode. I hope you did enjoy it, even though it was short and uneventful. I will see you guys next time. Bye.